there's no question that there's a fairly high attrition rate, and it's actually higher than 7 to 1. If you go right back to ideas, it's actually 7 concepts for every successful, but ideas, it's more like 60 to 1. The first thing to remember is it's a bit like playing poker. When you sit down at the poker table and you start betting, you don't put all your money on the table. You put maybe $2 or €2, and you get a few cards. And then you bet a little bit more money, and you get a few more cards and more information. In other words, new product projects, you never bet all the money at the beginning. It's a stepwise process. It's an incremental commitment. As you learn more, you bet more. So the first phase of a project may cost a few $1,000s. The next phase may cost $10,000. The next phase may cost $50,000. But you never bet the full amount until you're ready to launch, go into full production, etc. And this is one way people mitigate risk. They never eliminate risk. They manage risk. And doing it in an incremental fashion, which fits very well the stage gate process, of course, is one way of managing risk, mitigating risk. And there's a number of other methods people use as well. They balance their portfolio. I mean, one of the essence of risk management is having a balanced portfolio. Any stockbroker will tell you that. You do some high-risk projects, some low-risk investments. And that's another thing. And we talk about strategic buckets in that respect, about how to balance the portfolio optimally so that you have a reasonable risk. Some high, some low, but just the right mix and balance. So there's a number of ways that executives can manage risk sensibly. You're never going to get rid of it. The only way to get rid of the risk is to get out of the game. And then you die another kind of death, but that you don't want to do. There are ways to manage the risk.
So that's how you get executives to try to get into this bold innovation. There is risk, but you've got to take the risk.
Yeah, because again, the evidence is very clear. The companies that have failed to innovate, that have not spent the money, not taken the chances, they disappear. I mean, the history books of business are full of stories of companies that failed to seize the opportunities that they should have because they were perhaps a bit timid, didn't have the leadership at the top with the vision and the fortitude to take those chances. And as I say, it's not an outrageous risk. There are ways to manage it.